Do you have a collection of films and videotape sitting in your attic, basement, hall closet, or a box somewhere that are being lost to time? Creative artists can transfer your 8mm, Super 8mm, and 16mm films, as well as converting your VHS, CVHS, 8mm, and mini DV to DVD. Preserve your family's video history for the generations to come. Creative Artists, 1113 West Spring Street, Monroe, 770-267-7368.
Now that John Deere runs different from the others.
It's a diesel, but it's an electric crank rather than with a gasoline engine.
Now that front end is low. Look at the tires on the back.
Got big tires on the back.
Right.
Flotation and traction. I get the feeling that that one's been in some tractor pulls. That's an older muffler, but that's a standard muffler for the John Deere unit. I think that's
The girl on the trailer almost went over on her head.
lined up with three competitive type tractors. Massey Ferguson case. And a Ford, I believe, Fordson. If you own, have an interest in these kind of tractors, the thing to do is to rebuild one and join the two-cylinder club.
Who do they contact? What person do they contact to join?
Have to call the president, and I don't have his name and number right at the present time.
A beautiful John Deere.
Chrome stacks. That seems to be the favorite of everybody with the G's.
Sounds better.
Here's some more G's that's going to be a little different. One of them has fenders. The first one here has fenders. Single tire on the front. And then the next one has a wide front end.
This one is a high John Deere.
Yeah, it's a wide front end, but it's a high crop. Cultivating crops that get a little taller. Mostly used in garden areas where they have commercial tomato plants, you know, grow tomatoes or some other higher plant commercially.
New Holland, I believe the first New Holland we've seen.
New Holland is the successor to Ford. They bought Ford all the patents and all the tooling, and now then it's New Holland. What used to be Ford is now New Holland. Look at those tires. Those are big tires on that particular 4620. We see a lot of Farmall M's because that was a very popular model.
Yes, we had one on our farm when I was growing up.
The 2520 is kind of the successor to the 2010. when they went to an inline engine. Deere in 1960 started developing, or they've been working on it for quite some time, but they introduced in 1960 an inline engine. 4s and 6s came out of Waterloo. They realized that they'd gone just about as far as they could go with 2-cylinder models because of the size and the horsepower that they needed to handle some of the farm chores and other things that farmers needed to do. And of course, in that time, they knew the farms were getting bigger and bigger every year. So they developed and came along with the inline engines and the 4010s, 4010s, 3010s, 2010s, right on down to the 1010s. And then
yes,
from that they went to the 4020s, and that 4020 has earned a reputation that's really outstanding this time of year.
We're seeing more Alex Chalmers than ever, I believe, this year than before, simply because the restoration of these tractors probably does not cost as much.
They've done a good job restoring them, haven't they?
Right. Garden tractors.
This John Deere 7 is different from the others we've seen. I wanted to be sure to get a good video of it because this one is an LP. Liquid petroleum is the fuel rather than gasoline or diesel. There were quite a few of those sold, but not nearly as many as the gasoline or the diesel model.
Very.
VF Avery, yeah, that was
Avery,
one that was coming along in the 50s and went out of business in the 60s.
The Avery is a really odd type tractor. Is it?
Well, it was not one that was real popular, but there were a few sold. I think it was one that came out of Canada.
The weather does it seem like it's getting warmer?
Well, the sun's shining a lot better.
Yeah.
I don't think the wind's quite as high.
Woo! I can hardly talk, I'm so cold. I got evidently one quid up above us.
Yeah, something's holding it up.
That's the slick running tractor, the Avery.
Oh, those 4 cylinders always ran real smooth, didn't they?
Yes. Sort of took after the farm mall.
You know, the Massey Ferguson was a very popular model, especially the 35. Very popular model for around the farm for doing odd work and things like that. He's the guy I sold my 2 tractors that I rebuilt.
Really?
He's the one I sold both of them to.
Really?
One of them I hadn't quite finished, but
He's a diesel.
a gasoline crank diesel, early John Deere model. Well, it was available along with some of the electric starts.
Good looking Oliver coming up. Well, I've seen gaps, but now they're stacked up.
Usually we're used to the gap where they piling up. We're not used to it all.
No.
Got that Oliver looking good.
Yes, sir. That is one good-looking tractor.
6-cylinder, and I think it's probably early 60s. Hey, good to see you. He got you. He's the owner of the distributing store.
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Little John Deere H. It's a good looking little motor scooter, you know it?
You're right. Another butthead, as you call it.
Yeah, another butthead. Unstyled.
Yeah.
Is what the proper term, I guess. When I first started with Deere, the 50 model was the one that we used so much around Deere Acres to pull trailers and move things around. It was easy to handle and easy to crank and move around and work with, and so we used it quite a bit.
Couple of Ford tractors.
Yeah, old Red Belly.
Yes. But you
They're
hear
not quite the same, but close.
you hear the John Deere coming up behind, though, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad it's warmed up a tad because it has been cold this morning, and the fact that, well, it's time for cold weather. The first day of November. Can you imagine? This year has flown by.
There's the Ford model that put them on the map. 9N Ford. Good looking unit, and boy, it was popular around the farm for doing odd jobs and working in the light soils and pulling plows and harrows because they used the 3-point hitch. That was the one that they developed the 3-point hitch around and made it easier to change from implement to implement without so much hookup problems.
Good looking farm wall.
Look at the weights hung on it in the middle there. That's unusual. Got a weight on the front, but a bunch of them hung in the middle. That's to put more traction, more weight on the back so that the tires will grip a little better.
That a converted manure spreader. Another Farm Wall M. Another good-looking tractor because the Farm Wall M was a popular and still is a popular tractor.
You can almost count the revolution on that.
Yes.
That general purpose. That's probably a 35 or 36, somewhere along in there. It's an A model. Equivalent. A model equivalent. Another general purpose. He's got the shutter on the front painted yellow. That's a little unusual.
Is that because so he can keep it hot?
Well, when you first crank it up, he used the tractor fuel, and it wasn't quite as good a grade as gasoline, so you had to heat it up in order to make it run properly.
They're telling me these companies will not stand behind a manure spreader.
Yeah, the only thing Deere builds that they won't stand behind. Boy, I'm really impressed with all these early unstyled buttheads. Boy, I tell you, they all run great, and they all look great. Another spoke. This is a round spoke.
Now this is unusual.
Very that must have been back for when they were trying to develop a unit. Looks like it's 4-wheel drive also. We'll have to get him on the video after and interview him and see what he has to say about it.
Right. Well, we got have a different kind of tractor coming up here. It's a
Oh,
four-legged
that's a big
tractor.
one. That looks like a big international case.
Now I'm talking about this one here.
Yeah, those provided the power back in the early days, didn't it?
Right. What a huge, this one is huge. Case International.
I need to know more about that one. Boy, it carry a good size implement on that 3-point hitch.
And that's the parade, the tractor parade.
It looks like
And
it's about to conclude, doesn't it?
Right, and the people are beginning to go to the food right now. They're headed that way, and we had visited the area before the parade started down the way a little while, and it's just an amazing day that it'd be so cold for this many people to come out and see the tractor parade in Bostwick, Georgia. So it's been another good one, not as long as some others have been, but it's been a good one.
Yes, it has, and I've really enjoyed it.
As you notice, we have seen different tractors every year, and we have seen the same tractors, but every year there's more and more of different tractors than before.
More different models, and more of them seem to be completely restored this time than some of the years in past.
So that's it for the tractor parade in Bostwick, Georgia on this November 1st, 2014. And it's hard to get away from 1900, isn't it? So, but yes, on this first Saturday in November and the first day of November, a good crowd turned out. A lot of people have turned out for the event, and I certainly hope you have enjoyed it too. And remember, where you can get a DVD of this event, and you can always play it back for your friends. Let them enjoy the parade too whenever they gather around your home, and you can play it many times. Well edited by Jennifer, and it's worth the $10 that you pay for it too. Contact them. They're located on West Spring Street, and they are called
Creative Artists.
Creative Artists, so remember that, and they'll be more than glad to tell you all about it if you'll call them up. They're located in the Monroe phone book, and so make your selection and get by as many as you would like and give as a Christmas gift, as a matter of fact, or any other gift, because they're really worth the $10. That's really a good price. So the tractor parade is over here in Bostwick, Georgia, and along with my co-partner here, Verlin Deaton, along with
Conrad Barnes.
We appreciate you viewing what we have just seen before you, and you can join us again next year, the good Lord's willing, and we'll have another tractor parade next year and the first Saturday in November, right?
Correct. And Vernon, it's been great working with you and looking forward to the future.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Conrad. The crowd is gathering for the Cotton Gin Festival on this first day of November, and is it cold? The wind is blowing about 15 to 20 miles per hour, and the situation is not as good as it has been, because in the past it has been mild, then it turned warm during the day. So that's what's happening right now. And you can see as the camera pans around, and a lot of things will be on display here that people have for sale. So this is just part of what's going on here at the Cotton Gin Festival, and it's really interesting. I see a lot of smoke down to our left, and the fact that they're cooking up some barbecue down there. Yes, good barbecue. They have a lot of good stuff to eat here during the day, during this event. So a lot of people will gather here. It's sometime yet from where we're standing before an actual tractor parade starts, but it'll start around 11 o'clock, and of course a lot of people will be gathering here, and you can see that right now a lot of people are coming into the area. As the 11 o'clock hour approaches, we'll have a lot of people, and they are just defying the cold weather and making sure that they're going to enjoy this day. And more coming up here at the Cotton Gin Festival. What are y'all cooking up?
Chicken and we got sausage biscuit and hot dogs.
Okay, and what organization do you represent?
Sweet Home Missionary Baptist Church,
Okay, located here in Morgan County,
right here in Boston.
right here in Boston. And I like your cooker here. It's nice and huge.
Yes, sir.
You can cook up a pile of meat on that.
Yes, sir. I got 40 halves of chicken on there right now. And a few hot dogs. It's a very good cooker.
And what about ham? You have any ham?
We don't have any ham on there.
Okay, but you got chicken and it's finger licking good.
Yes, sir. Finger licking good chicken. Hey, it's gonna be pretty golden brown.
Okay, what time will it be ready?
Be ready in about 2 more hours.
Okay, all right. Well, congratulations on your cooker here because it's a nice one.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Very much.
If your mom says yes. Dude, bring a jacket. Or like 2. It's cold. It was on that for like 6 minutes and now it's like this.
This is Paul Mullins with Walton Entertainment. As you can see behind me here, this is the Ramblin' Wreck Parade. The engineers here have put together all kinds of devices that are powered by many different ways. So I think you'll enjoy this in just a few minutes when they start through here. Now this is the regular float division here. The ones I talked about will be in just a little bit. You notice the flat tire on the far side there. Y'all the submarine.
Wow. I mean, they don't really break it.
a cold morning here on the Georgia Tech campus. About 34 degrees. I think everybody's freezing, but we're having a good time. There in the back. Call this pedal power. Yeah, here's people power.
Yeah, otherwise you get the judges. Don't hit the curve. You're just gonna have to kiss this egg.
This is the last.
Hello, I'm Kenny Sargent with Keep Walton Beautiful in the Walton County Recycling Center. I want to thank you all for tuning in today, and wanted to talk a little bit about what's going on here, and that is mostly America Recycles Day that's coming up on November the 15th. This year on Saturday, November 15th, we're going to do a paint collection event, and we want to encourage you all to come down for that. The way it'll work is the latex paint will be $1 a gallon up to 10 gallons. Anything over that will be $2 a gallon, or whatever the original price the company is going to charge us for. We're thinking it's going to be $2 a gallon unless that changes between now and then. For oil-based paint, it's going to be $2 a gallon up to 10 gallons, and anything over that will be at regular price also, which should be somewhere around $3 a gallon, and it could fluctuate a little bit between now and then. But that's what we're looking at. You can bring in as much paint as you have, but we're only doing the deal for the first 10 gallons of paint that you have. The other thing I wanted to remind everyone of is our scales will be closed that day for trash disposal. We're going to make America Recycles Day what it's supposed to be about, and that's about recycling. So that day is going to be all about recycling. So again, the scales will be closed. There will be no trash disposal. Our drive-through recycling area will be open, and we'll have a tent set up front and in the back to welcome you guys coming in and to help you with your recycling. We're here to answer any questions that day, and we really want to promote recycling as best we can. The other thing I wanted to encourage everybody on that day is that we're going to be doing a shoe drive. You may remember we did that back with our document destruction. If you don't, basically what it is we're going to encourage people to bring in any slightly worn shoes that you may have that may not fit, or you just didn't like, or anything like that, but they're still in pretty fair condition. To bring those in, and those are going to go overseas to be reworn by people that could use those. So again, it's for a good cause, and we wanted to remind everyone to bring those down with your paint. So round up all your paint and all your old shoes and get them in here for America Recycles Day. We look forward to seeing you. We will be here from 8 to 12, and we will see you then. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Becky Chinhall, radon educator with the University of Georgia, Walton County Extension Office. And I'm pleased to talk to you today about radon. A lot of you have heard about radon, but some of you still have not. And I want you to know that November is National Lung Cancer Awareness Month. So I'm going to talk to you about radon and lung cancer. By the way, lung cancer is the #1 cancer among women. Radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer overall, and it's the first leading cause of lung cancer among non-smokers. So everybody needs to be concerned about radon. Everybody needs to test their home. And I want to tell you some of the things we've been doing with our radon program to promote radon testing and to promote radon awareness. One of the things that I always enjoy is a radon poster contest, and that's for all students ages 9 to 14. We have had several good entries from Walton County. We've had national winners in the past, state winners, and I hope we do this year. I wanted to be able to tell you if we have any winners yet, but I won't know until the end of November, so I'll have to keep you in suspense. But I want to show you just a couple of our entries, and these are Walton County students. This is one that was done by Trevor, and I really like this one because he shows you two houses. They both look the same. One has radon and one does not. So what does that mean? You cannot see radon. There's no way to tell by looking. So what a great idea, what a good poster, what good colors. And I want to show you this poster. This one was done by Tyler, And Tyler has had a winning poster in the past, and I am so pleased with this because it's simple, but it gets the message across. He has a picture of the lungs, radon, and then the skeleton with crossbones. And we know that lung cancer is caused by radon. And again, the only way to know is to test your home. But what a good way to get the message across. So who knows? One of these could be the winner. I don't know yet, but I'm anxious to find out. November, again, Lung Cancer Awareness Month. A lot of things that we're doing is to promote our radon program. We promote testing every day. We want you to test. I get the results from all over the state and from Walton County. And I want you to know our October test results. I received 5 test results from Walton County last month. 3 were high. Do you know that 60%? 60% came back high. The national average is 1 out of 15. And we are above that in Walton County. And I want to tell you, for the state of Georgia, my results for October were 40%, 45% of all tested were high. And that's a lot. That's a lot. I do notice slightly higher test results in the winter months as it turns cooler, so that could account for part of it, but not all of it. Radon comes from uranium. Uranium's found in granite rock. We all know that we have a lot of granite rock in Walton County. Radon is real. I've got the Free to Breathe event coming up this Saturday. I want to tell you about that. That's with the Lung Cancer Partnership. It's at Sandy Creek Park in Athens, 9 o'clock, November the 8th. And it's a 5K run. It's a great way to honor somebody or run in memory of someone that's had lung cancer. We all know about the different cancer partnerships, sponsorships, but this is the only one for lung cancer. We're doing new medical brochures, and we're using this picture on our medical brochures. And we've got a couple of winning students last year from the Radon Poster Contest with area pulmonologists. We like to incorporate the medical community in a lot of our radon programs. Why? Because so many times they help us in encouraging people to test their home for radon. I want to show you this brochure. This is one of our new medical brochures, and we're giving this out to any medical professionals in the area, and we have started with area pulmonologists. The American Lung Association has a new way that they're going to fight lung cancer and create greater awareness, and it's called Lung Force Teams. And what they do is feature high-profile people, and they're forming these teams to help fight lung cancer. And just want to end with telling you, you need to test your home for radon if you never have. It's the second leading cause of lung cancer. Fix it if it's high, and who knows, you may save a life. It may be yours, it could be a friend or a family member's. Thank you. Come see me at the Walton County Extension Office and get your kit.
Hello and welcome to this edition of The Health Story. My name is Dee Dee Harris. I'm the Executive Director of Walton Wellness, Inc., a nonprofit located here in Walton County dedicated to the prevention of lifestyle-related chronic illness. Each time I come to you, I like to bring you some type of resource, hopefully that will help your health journey or someone you love, or let you know about some kind of event or something that's going on in our local community. Today, I'm going to talk to you about something that has become very near and dear to my heart. As many of you who may know me personally know that our family has experienced quite a change over the past summer. My son, who is 8, he's a 3rd grader at Harmony Elementary School, Trevor, he was diagnosed with a very rare blood disorder called Fanconi anemia, or FA for short. Fanconi anemia is extremely rare. Only around 30 to 31 cases show up every year in children in the United States. It is a disease that is all over the world, however. But in the United States, we have just a very small population, fortunately, that show up. This is a disease that is genetic in nature, so he was actually born with the disease, and we did not know it until he started displaying some symptoms that really alarmed us, and we had some blood work done. From that blood work, we saw that all of his blood levels, his platelets, his white cell count, and his red cell count were all very low. And so that was what led to the actual testing to find out what was going on with him, and it showed up that he had Fanconi anemia. So one of the things that we have been trying to do since we have found out is how can we help other people? This disease is quite rare, so most people will never have heard of it. I had never heard of it. My husband had never heard of it. And so most people have never heard of it and will more than likely never know anyone in their lifetime who is affected by this disease. So we wanted to figure out how can we educate people a little bit more, not only about Fanconi anemia, but there are lots of different blood disorders out there that that affect children especially, that a lot of people are not aware of. And so one of the things with my son's blood disorder, how it affects him the most is it causes bone marrow failure. Now, a lot of people are a little bit confused about what is bone marrow. You hear the term, but maybe you don't know exactly what it does for your body. Well, your bone marrow is essentially your lifeblood. It is very essential to your being able to live. That's where your red blood cells are made. That's where your immune system comes from, and it's where your platelets come from as well. Now, just to have a little physiology lesson, because some of you may say, what exactly is a platelet and all of these things that I'm throwing out. Platelets are what cause you to be able to clot. It causes your blood to be able to clot. So if you cut yourself, you bleed a little bit, and then it hopefully stops pretty quickly and you form a scab. That is your platelets at work. That is what helps you to be able to clot your blood and for your body to be able to consolidate that wound to just that area. So platelets are pretty important, especially when we're talking about injury. Platelets also have to do with not just blood clotting with cutting yourself, but also bruising. And that is what shows up, you've probably heard, with leukemia, which is a blood disease as well. You hear about a lot of bruising happening with leukemia, and that is because the platelets get so low that it causes bruising, sometimes what we call spontaneous bruising. If your platelets are low enough, then you will actually just form bruises on your body and you don't even have to injure yourself to actually get the bruise. So the platelets are very important. Obviously, we know what your immune system does. I have confidence that you know that. It fights off infection. It helps you get well when you get an infection. So tremendously important, especially in today's world when we're so mobile and everybody's kind of interacting with everyone else. And then your red blood cells are very important because that's your blood, but also it contributes to the oxygen in your blood, or what we call hemoglobin. Often if you go to the doctor and they prick your finger and they give you a hemoglobin number. Well, basically what your hemoglobin is it's telling you how much oxygen is in your blood. And so that oxygen in your blood is what's responsible for giving oxygen to all your major organs and throughout your body. So we breathe in the oxygen, but that doesn't necessarily go down to our toes. It's our blood that takes that oxygen down to our toes and to our fingertips and to all over our body. So hemoglobin obviously is very important as well. When you have a low hemoglobin, you can feel very fatigued, very tired. You just don't have a lot of energy and you can be short of breath. So it can cause you to, in general, just feel really bad and not be able to be as active. So all of these things together is what your bone marrow is responsible for in your body. So with my son's disease, he actually is going to eventually need a bone marrow transplant. And that is what actually a lot of different blood diseases end up needing for a cure. Leukemia being one of those. Leukemia is a very, unfortunately, very prevalent disease, and I'm sure most of you have heard of it, or you've even known someone who has had leukemia. Leukemia patients often end up with the need as well for a bone marrow transplant. Same with lymphoma, sickle cell anemia, hemophilia. Lots of these diseases often end up with needing a bone marrow transplant. So that's what I want to talk to you about a little bit more, is the bone marrow transplant and what exactly that is. Well, amazingly, with our science and our modern medical technology, they are actually able to transplant someone's bone marrow into someone else who needs it, and they are able to grow a new immune system. And it's pretty amazing once you find out about all the details and stuff. One of the first questions I always get is, does it matter about blood type? And a lot of people think you have to be the same blood type. Actually, you don't. Blood type does not matter at all in a bone marrow transplant, which is great. So that means we can all share our bone marrow. Well, not exactly. What they do have to do is they have to do what they call HLA testing. And HLA testing is human leukocyte antigen. And what they are looking for is a specific chromosome in the body, which is chromosome 6. There are 8 proteins within that chromosome that have to match up in order for someone to be a perfect match and for them to be able to transplant bone marrow. So unfortunately, we all can't just share our bone marrow. We do have to have matching. Which brings me to what I wanted to talk to you about, which is we are having a bone marrow donor drive. Basically, this is where we are asking you to please consider donating your bone marrow. And that sounds very scary, especially after everything I just told you your bone marrow was responsible for. But I wanted to ensure you of how you actually get tested. Well, that HLA testing. There is something called the National Bone Marrow Registry. Now, a lot of patients, when you have to have a bone marrow transplant, they are fortunate enough to have someone in their family, usually a sibling is the best chance, that actually match. And they are able to use their siblings' bone marrow to do the transplant, which is wonderful. And that is the optimal situation that you want. But often, and especially like in my case with my son, his sister was not a match for him. So we are having to go to the National Bone Marrow Registry and actually search for a match for my son. Now, we're in a fortunate situation that my son is not in an emergency situation at this point. He doesn't have to have the transplant right away. So we have some time to be able to search for a donor and hopefully find that right person. So when the time comes, everything is lined up for us. However, unfortunately, most people, or a lot of people, are not in the same situation that we are in. They are kind of up against the clock and they need a transplant much sooner, and so they need a donor right away. So one of the things that the National Registry does is they help families like us hold donor drives. And in that donor drive, after you have educated yourself a little bit about being a donor and you decide to be a donor, then you come to the drive and all it is a mouth swab. It's like a Q-tip. You stick it in your mouth, you swab it around, and then you give that sample to the National Registry, and they take it and they put you on the National Registry. That's all that it is. Now, there are some catches in there. One is you have to be between the ages of 18 and 44 in order to be on the National Registry. A lot of people want to know, what's the reason for that? Because 44-year-olds are not that old. And that is true, but doctors have determined over years of doing bone marrow transplants that the most successful transplants come from donors between 18 and 44. So basically, they are searching for the youngest donor they can to do the transplant, and that's where you have the most success. So Be the Match is the national organization that manages the registry, and they say that they concentrate on this age range because 90% of all transplants that happen in the United States are going to come from this age range. You actually, once you're on the National Registry, you stay on the National Registry until you're 61, and then they consider you to be too old to be able to donate. So you are able to stay on the registry till then, but more than likely a doctor will not choose a donor past the age of 44 unless it was an absolute crucial situation and there were no other choice. So more than likely, if you're over 44, you would never be chosen. And that's kind of the logic behind why they want people between 18 and 44. So if you are between 18 and 44, or you have someone in your house that is, or a loved one, we would really like to encourage you to come November 15th, and I think you're going to see a flyer up on the screen. We are having a bone marrow donor drive in honor of Trevor Harris and Helen Mullins, which Paul, who is actually filming this right now, it's his wife. She has been battling leukemia for quite some time, and she also is in search of a donor at this point. She doesn't have one to hopefully undergo a bone marrow transplant. So we are holding a donor drive, which we are trying to reach everyone between those ages and ask you to please consider becoming a member of the National Registry. It is free for people between 18 and 44. If you are over the age of 44 but you still would like to help us, of course, Be the Match is a nonprofit. They're always in need of donations, so please consider donating money. What that money goes towards is to actually have people tested. It is kind of an expensive test, and it's free for people between those ages. So those who are older and want to do something can actually sponsor someone being tested. So they're always in need of donations if you're interested in doing that. I encourage you, before you decide to come to our donor drive on November 15th, to do a little bit of research and educate yourself. This is a really big decision. More than likely, you will never be chosen. The chances of you matching someone's bone marrow, they say, is about 1 in 500 that will actually be chosen off of the list. So unfortunately, more than likely, you will never be asked, but you might. And there might be somebody out there right now whose life depends on your bone marrow. So I encourage you to go to bethematch.org. That is the website for the organization that manages the registry. They have educational materials on there so that you can learn a little bit more about being a donor. And then once you decide that you do want to be a donor, we encourage you to come November 15th. It's going to be at St. Albans Episcopal Church in downtown Monroe. We are going to have plenty of volunteers there, and what we will be doing is just asking you to swab your mouth. We have flyers out, hopefully you'll see around town. We say, we don't need your blood, we just need your spit. So basically, we're just asking you to come and give us your spit on November 15th. It's going to be from 10 to 1 at St. Albans Episcopal Church. And again, that age range is between 18 and 44 that we are searching for to come and give us your spit. I also wanted to say that some of you may have seen a newspaper article about me and my family, my son, and talking about how we have a campaign called Marrow Man. We've created a comic book character that we're hoping is going to give inspiration to all kinds of blood disease patients, young and old. And Marrow Man will be at our bone marrow donor drive on November 15th. So we encourage people to just come down and get their picture with Marrow Man and Facebook it and tweet it, because we really want to send this message across everywhere, way beyond Walton County, and give people some inspiration and also an educational tool about blood diseases. So again, that's bethematch.org. Please visit it. Think about it. Consider donating your bone marrow. Consider coming to our donor drive and donating your spit. As always, if you have questions for me, want more information, please go to our website, waltonwellness.org. You can also email me at waltonwellness@gmail.com. And all of that information is there on our website for you to be able to contact us if you need it. So again, November 15th, you'll see that flyer up on the screen.
Thanks for tuning in. As always, we're going to show you some of the dogs and cats that are here at the Walton County Animal Shelter You know, it's November, that's the month for Thanksgiving, so we want to say thanks to someone who's been helping us quite a bit lately. For the last couple months, Countryside Vets here in Walton County has been helping to sponsor some of our animals. Every week they've picked a pet of the week, and each time someone adopts that pet of the week, they get a free spay and neuter voucher with that dog or cat that's pet of the week. And so far I know they've given out at least 10 or 12 of these vouchers to people, and that doesn't add any increased fee to the adoption. It's still $40, and then you get a free spay neuter voucher for the pet of the week. In addition, with every adoption, Countryside Vet is giving out an adoption bag. It's got a frisbee and a bowl and a leash and some sample dog food. And they're also giving away gift cards that are good at Countryside Vet for discounts on your services if you choose to go with them for a veterinarian. Of course, we want to thank the other vets and vet partners that have helped us and continue to help us. Paradox Spay Neuter Clinic that does a free spay and neuter for us once a week, and the other vets that offer discounts in this area to adopters of animals that come from our shelter. So we just want to say thanks to all our partners that help us out. You know, really, we've never gone up on that adoption fee. It's still just $40. A lot of them now are getting spayed and neutered or have a voucher. They all get vaccinated. They all get a rabies vaccine voucher, just heartworm tested. We added a lot of great things to the adoption, and it's still only $40. So if you want to add a pet to your home this holiday, go ahead and come down to the shelter or look online at waltonpets.net and see what we have. But now we'll show you some of those that are here.
Here we have litter maids. They're both females. They're about three and a half months old. Very sweet. They need a good home. They love to be held and loved, and they just a purring. And this one has one blue eye and one brown eye. And this one has looks like she has a mustache and a goatee.
Chocolate lab female, about 5 months old, very sweet. Come on.
Looky here, we got us a nice little chocolate brown min pin, female, about 4 years old, named Lucky, ready to go home. Thank you.
We have a German Shorthair Pointer. It's a male. He's about 7 years old, already neutered, really sweet, ready to go.
Lab mix puppy, female. Very sweet, playful.
Fetch boy! Where did all this trash come from?
That was a good one.
Good game, man.
I heard each year that one person throws away enough trash to equal the weight of 8 baby elephants.
I heard recycling just one Sunday newspaper could nearly save 75,000 trees. Help your community out.
Keep Walton beautiful.
Keep Walton beautiful.
Keep Walton beautiful.
To be a Keep Walton Beautiful volunteer, call 770-267-1421 or check out our website at waltoncountyga.gov/KWB.
Green, green, green. It's your home, it's your dream. Radon testing, keep it healthy and clean. Make it green, green, green.
Making it green starts from the ground up, so make sure the air in your home is healthy for your family to breathe. Test your home for the presence of radon. Go to epa.gov/radon.
Make it green, green.